Welcome to Daytona, everyone. The 66th running of the Daytona 500 coming up on Sunday, in theory, on Fox as we get ready to kick off the 2024 season. Hi, everyone. Marty, Snider, Steve Letarte joining you here from Daytona in the garage area as practice happens this week. Steve, I want to go to what you expect on Sunday in the race. I mean, I don't know that we can, the Fords were so good in qualifying, and then they raced okay. The Toyotas were terrible in qualifying and raced really well. What do you expect Sunday?
Well, so the struggle for me is I'm a little old school. My anxiety is very high because of the limited track time. I'm used to being here for a whole week now. No real practice before qualifying, no practice before the duels. Now a big wreck in the duels. I don't know what to expect. Without a doubt, the Fords, even with a new body, picked up where they finished last year, which is great speed by themselves. But then the Toyotas have swept both duels, yet the Chevys look good at times, so I'm not sure what to expect other than an exciting race, but I can list 8 or 10 drivers that I think have a real shot.
I want to touch on that unpredictability you mentioned and that wreck in the duels. I talked to a lot of drivers, and especially the Toyota and Ford drivers say, hey, we're still filling out the car. I don't know what it's going to do in the draft. Is that going to add to that unpredictability you mentioned on Sunday?
New cars and another, I think, curveball, over 20 changes of driver-spotter relationships over the offseason. What I saw for that wreck in the duels with this slow chain reaction. William Byron loses some momentum. The 8 gets there slowly. The 6 comes in, doesn't know he's kind of off pace. A big chain reaction speedway style wreck. It didn't surprise me, but it did surprise me in the duels. That's something you usually see in the 500 or at Talladega when everything's on the line. The duels are usually much calmer.
So, Steve, from that wreck, there's several big names going to backup cars. Kyle Busch, you got Ryan Blaney. Help me understand the current backup car situation. Are you taking a step back with that backup car, or are they close enough that it's the same?
So on a normal weekend, I would say moving to the backup car is about time of preparation. That's your concern. You really don't have a lot of time to get it ready. But here, with the wreck being on Thursday night, the race being on Sunday, teams will have more than enough time. I would expect the backup car to be equal as the primary car that they wrecked. That's the new world of NASCAR. Purchase cars, purchase bodywork. It's not that handmade shaped fender, that handmade shaped side like it used to be years ago.
So I'm curious of the Toyota story, if you will, adding the couple of extra cars. Is that going to help them maybe be on their own strategy versus trying to jump into someone else's strategy?
I don't think it puts them on their own strategy. I actually don't even think it increases their firepower. What it does is helps if you lose a few. When you only have 6 cars and you lose 2 or 3, now you're down to 3. You can do very little with only 3 cars in the field. But if you have the opportunity to have 9 cars, now you lose 2 or 3, you still have a big enough chunk you could pit on your own and still kind of dictate your own opportunity.
So, Steve, if Toyota has a little more firepower, does that then make Denny Hamlin, one of the best at Daytona, a favorite?
Well, if there's only one Toyota in the field and it's Denny Hamlin, he has to be your favorite. The guy's won 3 Daytona 500s. Yeah. He's always in the picture. So he's absolutely going to be one of those guys that you're going to be watching the closing laps. But that list is long. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano. Looked like William Byron was pretty good the other night. I mean, there's a long list of drivers I believe have a real shot, not just a chance, but a real shot to win this event.
So you gave me the long list. Can you narrow it down to one that you're going to go with as your favorite?
I don't know if I have a favorite, sentimental favorite. Why not Kyle Busch? It's been 20 years. I'd love to see him get a Daytona 500. Why not Martin Truex Jr., a long career without a super speedway win, let alone lost, let's remember, the closest Daytona 500 in history. So I have some sentimental favorites, but I don't think there's a real favorite that will stand out of the crowd as far as performance.
Well, how about some underdogs, maybe some under-the-radar picks that you could give to folks out there?
So there's a few, and they're kind of in the Ford camp. I think Todd Gilliland's one of those young drivers that seems to find himself near the front. I think he's way off the radar, but could he be the guy that surprises anybody? A little Trevor Bayne-esque shows up and wins the Great American Race. I don't think he's an underdog because he has won at a super speedway, but Michael McDowell starting on the front row might not be on everybody's top of their list in fantasy, but I think Mike McDowell is another one of those drivers that you can't overlook.
Well, one thing's for sure, Steve, it's very unpredictable coming into the Daytona 500. Should be a great one to kick off the 2024 season.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.